All right, and it looks like our players are set up and getting ready to go. Gardevoir start for Xander, which is what you want. Shaman start for Dalen. That's not.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not going to be as great. We do see the Hoopa, though, in Dalen's hand, so it could have been worse.
Yeah.
At least now with his Hoopa, he can search out those Gardevoirs and start prepping his own. We actually just passed from Xander. He may have had a better starter, but it looks like his starting hand wasn't all that great.
Looks like it was terrible, like unplayable.
Then here we see again the Scoundrel Ring after he was able to snag that Spirit Link off the Trainer's Mail. So he's going to most likely grab a Gardevoir or two and probably a Shaman to keep setting up.
Yeah, I would think it would definitely be 2 Gardevoir and a Shaman. And you see Dalen has the much better looking Gardevoir EXs.
The secret rares that we've grown to love on this stream.
If you guys were missing Yveltal at all, he's actually just right on the field.
Yep, he's still in the field, still hanging out with Gardevoir in that card. There we see the Gardevoirs going down.
Spirit Link. He's gonna bench a Dragonite just to play it, because he has an N in hand, but that's it. He wants to be able to draw more cards. We might see Escape Rope, yeah. 2? 3, okay.
Oh, and
what
he
a 3
did
they
manage
were.
to get the attachment, yeah. We'll see a pass. Finally, a Gardevoir Spirit Link and a Mega.
Ooh, we got an Ultra Ball.
Got an Ultra Ball.
Now we're gonna see Hoopa.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so Xander's able to get moving now too.
He is behind the energy attachment though, even though he went first. And Dalen did go into this first seed. And his only loss, I think, is just him scooping to Igor.
Yeah, that's we had talked about that earlier. He said he may even give
Scoop
the
in a
win
good
to better.
matchup, yeah.
And look at that, he scooped it in. Just happened to not be on his side of the brackets on this one. But yeah, he's currently undefeated. Was able to take his top 8 match. Obviously looking to go all the way undefeated, I'm sure, at this point.
Technically. Alright, so double Shaman. He really wants to see if he can find another Ultra Ball and a Fairy Energy to maybe turn on those Mega Turbos and actually get an attack off. Because he still has that Mega Turbo on hand. No, that energy, but what else he drew is just bad. Can't Super Rod, so Shaman for 2. And no Ultra Ball. He actually has the Mega Turbo too. It's very disappointing.
That's a shame. He got mainly set up. He's looking to maybe he can now Lysander install. He's gonna grab the Dragonite.
Now he has to hope Dalen doesn't find a way to get this Dragonite out of the active. But he does get a Sycamore, and remember, he only had an N before.
He definitely doesn't. It's looking like he's not wanting to, or it's looking like he wouldn't want to give Xander any more cards right now, just because he's clearly doesn't have what he needs.
Yeah, like he did play a supporter last turn, but it was just a Lysander, and even with all those Shaman draws, you would think he would play an N or a Sycamore if he got it.
And that's not having any Fairy Energies in the discard. Dalen does just go ahead and Sycamore away that Mega Turbo and that he was holding on to.
And he can't get the Dragonite out of the active, so he just ends his turn with a Mega Evolution.
Which definitely isn't a horrible ending to his turn, since he couldn't get the Dragonite out.
Yes, the whole point about this matchup is get the Megas out, because that's the one thing they can't one-shot. Even with Skyfield, it's impossible. And you do this weird game of just trading these blows and fairy drops and Mega Turbos. And it gets a little congested, but one thing that's like they're only going to have Mega Guardians in play once they start attacking.
And there we do see Xander opting to Lysander the other Mega Guardian rather than something he can take a knockout on, and then getting rid of everything else on his bench. But he does want to cripple Dalen with his attackers and everything as well.
And it looks like they're doing kind of the same thing. Lysander up a guy that can't retreat, can't attack, maybe pass. Dalen really does need something, but I don't think he has it.
No, again, I think even if he had the Mega Turbo, it wouldn't have really helped because I don't think he's been able to get any fairy energy in the discard still.
Where's the battle compressors when you need them?
Then we see a Super Rod from Xander, and then the Koopa. He threw back two of those Shamans. I'm sure he's going to snag him again. Still trying to draw something.
Yeah, Escape Rope would be really good right here. Mega Turbo would be pretty good. Alright, set up for 3. He has the Mega Turbos, but there's no Fairy Energy in the discard. Set up for 1. No, nothing.
But he does have the switch.
So he will get this knockout on this Mega Gardevoir.
Yeah, he'll be able to get the knockout on this Mega Gardevoir, and get rid of those the Shamans and the Hoopa that he had put back. So, and he finally found an energy off of that Shaman.
That's great.
Definitely looking a lot better for Xander. And there we go. He went ahead and got rid of almost his whole bench again.
Yeah, like I said before, all you really want is just Mega Gardevoir in play.
We've seen Ultra Ball.
Probably getting a Gardevoir EX. Or Shaman if his hand's not doing too hot. Lucha. Alright, interesting.
Deciding maybe he's been whiffing energy this whole time, maybe he can continue to do it. So that way he can two-shot this Mega Gardevoir as well, while he maybe tries to just set up another one.
Or he's just
going to discard it.
Yeah.
Yep, and he is. He's just going to go ahead and get rid of it.
It's interesting to see he didn't Buddy Rescue. I guess that would be giving Xander too much. Like, oh, here's another Dragonite you can have.
I was going to say, because he take the Dragonite, a Shaman even.
Because Dalen definitely needs to get more Gardevoir EX in play. Will we see the Skyfield come down? I would think so.
Yeah, I think at this point, just okay, maybe not, because I thought maybe he thought if he played it down, he would be able to drop the Gardevoir.
No, okay, here we go. Dragonite EX, he'll drop down the Skyfield, drop the Dragonite, and then use its ability to get a Gardevoir EX and probably the Shaman, maybe another, or the Mega.
Or possibly. There we go. Oh, no, I don't think Dragonites can grab Megas, can they?
Yeah, they just grab any Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
Except for Dragonite.
Got it.
It's a pretty sweet card. He actually gets the Guardy and the Hawlucha.
Okay, so maybe he had already thought of that Hawlucha plan and knew that he still had to play his hand down a little bit.
So basically doing this, if he plays the Hawlucha, he'll damage the Mega Guardian bats with only 1 energy, and hopefully Xander whiffs an energy, and then he'll be able to take a knockout and tie things up.
Right, and then and while all that's happening, he's gonna attempt to get that Gardevoir that he still has on his bench, all level or maxed out with energy and Mega Evolved as well.
It's interesting he didn't discard the Hawlucha. I think that's a buffer for Escape Rope. He kind of got surprised by it.
Or a counter Hawlucha.
Or a counter Hawlucha, yes. And you
But
see
it
him
looks like
not
Xander
actually use the
opts to
ability.
not use the ability, yes. but rather wants his own Hawlucha in case of another escape rope play.
Or another Hawlucha, even though it's possible both of them will play. So he does have that energy. So we'll be able to put at least 110 damage on the Dalen's Mega Gardevoir. And a Fairy Drop again. So now, with the double Fairy Drop, it's actually requiring Dalen to discard a lot of Pokemon to knock out this Mega Gardevoir.
Now, we know that Dalen does have that Dragon Knight still in his hand.
No, he played it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. He did. I forgot he played it. But I think he still has one in deck.
He might. What's his last card, though? He has all 3 Megas.
Yep, and it looks like he's just going to go ahead and attack.
Yeah. So that last card must not be anything good.
No, and sadly, Xander is actually going to be able to knock out now Dalen's second Mega Gardevoir.
Yeah, it's not looking good for him. And
oh, you know what the Dragonite I was thinking of was in Xander's hand. That's why I thought he still had it.
oh, okay.
It's because Xander decided not to play the Dragonite last turn.
Versigir Lysander. And he's actually Lysandering the other Mega. I think it's just because Dalen's Jawling dead. So you don't want to give him those 2 free prizes. And if he doesn't have an energy, he can't even attack. Oh, he's hiding it from us. Parallel City. Okay. I don't think that really does much. Sycamore! What a draw! So now he'll have the energy to knock out this Mega Gardevoir that Xander has active. And he definitely has Lysander, Shaman, a couple Versus Seekers.
The problem is, as of right now, because of that Mega Gardevoir on Xander's bench, Dalen still isn't favorable in now the attack exchange.
Yeah, both of his. It'll take 2 attacks, but then he'll lose both of his attackers.
You see, Dalen did get another Gardevoir into his hand. I think he's now looking to play the Dragonite and the Gardevoir he has in his hand. Well, he has 2 Dragonites too. So if he does end up playing that Skyfield, he's going to be able to get a good amount of Pokemon back on his bench and possibly get going for setting up another Mega Gardevoir.
It's a pretty good amount.
Oh, instead he opts to in.
Yeah, I think setting up another Mega might just be better than doing like more incremental damage that you don't need. There's already 120 on the Mega Gardevoir that Dalen has, and 110 will knock it out. And it's probably better to conserve those Dragonites for eventual end.
He did find another Spirit Link for that Gardevoir on the bench.
That's exactly what he wanted.
Yep. looking like both players' decks are getting pretty low too. So he's probably not wanting to overextend too much and accidentally give him a chance to be decked out.
So what we really need to see from here is Dalen's fairy drops.
Mm-hmm.
We've already seen Xander use 2 in 1 turn. If Dalen can get those fairy drops, he'd be in a really great position.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting. He uses the Mega Turbo, puts it on the Gardevoir. There we see one of the fairy drops.
But Sycamore,
That's most likely looking for that other fairy drop if he does still have it. We see another Mega Turbo, we see a Shaman. He doesn't really have anything more in play.
alright, so we just see the Spare Ray, 110. And it looks like he has Brock's Grit. Or Dragonite? Okay, no, he was just counting up the Pokemon.
He was able to drop that Rattata and get rid of the Spirit Link on the active Gardevoir.
Yes, that's mattered so much.
Oh,
And
yep, there we
goes.
go. He did get the Dragonites. All right. So
Game
game one
one.
will go to Xander.
Yeah.
It's
interesting.
He was able to rotate the Gardevoirs and with that double fairy drop, pull ahead of the attack exchange.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was talking with both of them, and Dalen actually played Xander round 9 and demolished him to go to 9-0.
So Xander's out for a little bit of blood, a little revenge.
I asked him if he knew the matchup before, and he said he did, but he did make a misplay, and so that misplay is not going to really be seen now.
Right. He's really watching himself, making sure it doesn't happen again. And he was able to take game one, so I mean, who knows? Maybe this will. Yeah, he could 2-0.
Yeah,
Dalen,
he could.
and this could have been a little bit quicker of a mirror than we thought.
Well, there is about 50-something minutes left, I believe. Yeah, 57 minutes and 30 seconds left. So it was a good 15 minutes, I would say.
Right. That's it. It wasn't nearly quite as long as I guess we thought initially, but when everything's getting two-shot, I guess that it does exchange quickly if you're able to keep up with your attackers. Both players did. They didn't. There was a couple times towards the end that they were kind of whiffing harder than I'm sure they were wanting to. And then when they were trying to play around each other's Gardevoirs that each only had one energy.
Ooh,
It was a very
I just
similar play.
saw Xander draw his hand.
Yeah.
It does not look good.
Oh no. Right, Dalen's starting Gardevoir this time, which is exactly what he wants to see. And already has that energy attachment.
Oh no. The 5th card was the Ultra Ball, and he accidentally saw it, so it just like kind of rubs it in his face like, oh, you need this, right? Sorry, you're not going to have it. But
Probably
he
grab
does
the
get
Spirit
it.
Link here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just going to go ahead and grab the Spirit Link then here. Whoop.
Get the nerves going, kind of.
Yeah,
Get a
and
little bit messy.
He's down a game after knowing that he 2-0'd this person yesterday. Gets in your head a little bit.
I mean, just see a pass, so.
And
His hand-
maybe afraid that Xander might drop the Rattata before he gets a chance. Then it really would be.
Yeah.
Then it really would
just see a
affect.
pass
Just
from
see a
Xander, and I
attachment
think
pass.
this is going to be game. Set up. Needs an energy. There it is. Game 2.
All right, game 2 to Dalen. Oh, and he shows his hand.
I told you that. It looked terrible.
Yeah, that was really horrible. Do you have any views on?
No, it's game 3 now.
Yeah, so it's game 3.
And that was a quick dump.
Yeah, we were just talking about how you said Dalen it felt like he slaughtered Xander yesterday 2-0.
Yeah.
There wasn't really a misplay there, rather than just
His misplay was
play.
not drawing
Another Pokemon?
cards that could play. Not drawing cards that he can play. That's his misplay.
Yeah, because that's his hand had 3 Spirit Links.
2 Lysander, a Brock's Grit, maybe some like fairy drops or Mega Turbo.
That's he used his one attachment, the one energy he found on that Shaman, just in the off chance he was going to get something and be able to retreat it or get the stuff, maybe even Sky Return it to use it again.
But you need another Pokemon for Sky Return.
Right, no, that's...
So this is definitely going to be quicker than
Then a little bit expected, because now here are in game 3. Xander's little buffer is gone quicker than you got it.
I think like out of all the games I've seen this weekend, that was the first time I saw Despair Mega Guardi dead drop. They have so many outs in their deck. It's Ultra Balls, Hoopas, Shamans, Dragonites, and he didn't get anything. I do enjoy Xander's Lucario sleeves. It's a great throwback.
Yeah, that's those were 2000.
They were the Diamond and Pearl pre-release sleeves.
Oh, okay.
And they were probably the best quality sleeves like Pokemon ever made for giving out players.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they last so long.
We see Xander actually start another Shaman and only has the one in his hand, but he gets to go first with the one in his hand this time. Dalen having a little bit better start, going second.
There we see the Ultra Ball. Gonna get a Hoopa.
Yeah, so Xander's going to be able to get moving, but he does have to discard one of his fairy drops.
Alright, I'm interested to see what Dalen is gonna try to do and like what's in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
He's been good at hiding it from us.
Yeah.
And I think to expect
Xander looking,
it's a little longer than I would think, right?
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Something
maybe
has to
really
be
trying to do.
prized.
I don't know. This big guy's just now. Okay, I was gonna say I thought I saw he had the Hoopa, but maybe he's really checking how many cards or how many.
I wonder how many Mega Guardis are in the deck.
Oh, I wonder if that was the look. Was maybe he prized one or two of them.
That'd be bad. Alright, so we will see him bench both of the Gardevoir EXs. And he has the Spirit Link and an Energy. Ooh, and he has the Mega, so maybe he doesn't want to end this turn? Could just
Yeah,
be
that's
content with
he went to
passing?
play it and then he kind of thought and looked at his hand and went, "Oh, maybe I wait for next turn." Because he does have the Shaman and he has the the Mega. No, but he just opts to go for the end anyway.
He feels confident that with another Hoopa and the rest of the Ultra Balls, he can search out and get the Megas that he needs.
That's in Dalen not opting to sit and look at his hand, probably figuring a turn 1 in was very likely.
It also psychs your opponent out when you don't look at your hand. Just like blind bet.
Is it good? Is it bad? Do I in it? Do I let him keep it?
So basically, Xander traded in having the Mega next turn for having an Energy next turn. By the looks of his hand, it's an
And
Energy.
maybe
and
it'll be a little bit
supporters.
easier to find the Mega. But actually, Dalen doesn't get the best hand off that in. He does get an Energy for the turn, but his hand before had an Ultra Ball and had, I believe, a Shaman.
Alright, he does play the N. Fresh hand of 6 for both players.
So now Xander went from having the Energy for next turn to possibly both, possibly one or the other again.
I mean, if he has an Ultra Ball, he can get the Hoopa.
That's Dalen definitely looking for either a Kubo or an Ultra Ball himself over on.
He also
after
needs to
this
bench
hand.
book one because depending on Xander's hand, he can just bench him.
Do we see a trainer's mail? Oh, still couldn't find that Ultra Ball.
Do you see a bench book one?
No, I was gonna say he flipped it through his hand kind of quick, but I still didn't see one. I didn't think.
Yeah, and it's just a
It
pass.
just passes. I think it's another. I think the other full art in his hand is the Sycamore.
Xander drew an Ultra Ball. Oh, he just has to retreat Mega Turbo. And the Skyfield Ultra Ball for Hoopa. And that's going to be game. Who would have thought?
Yep, there you go, Xander, going for it, grabbing the Hoopa, benching the 3. Yep. And Dalen realizing, oh wait, yep, that's all of them.
The first seed of the tournament goes down.
Oh man, what a shame.
That's a long mirror match for like 15 minutes and then donk.
We saw that when both decks they kind of set up, they were able to kind of go back and forth, but then just a donk after a donk ends the round.
I wonder if they actually finished faster than the Mewtwo versus Gardevoir.
Oh, that's because I didn't.
No? Okay, so
The Mewtwo match is actually also 1-1 right now.
the Mewtwo won again.
The Mewtwo took a game. I mean, we saw there. It's completely possible
Yeah.
to dunk the Gardevoir deck. Now, unsure if that'll happen. If we'll be able to get that in Game 3. But I mean, you did say if you can get him to draw
dead draws.
4 dead draws, that's all the Mewtwo player is looking for.
And it is one of the best players in the game, Igor Costa.
Very true. All right,
Okay,
guys.
we'll be back in a few minutes with Xander to talk about him moving to finals. And stay tuned.